Hey, Prime members, did you know that you could be listening to this episode and every episode of Funny 'Cause It's True ad-free on Amazon Music? That's right. Prime members get access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts. To listen, download the Amazon Music app or visit amazon.com/FCIT. With Amazon Music, you get access to the most ad-free top podcasts. Avoid the ads and listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free with the Amazon Music app or by visiting amazon.com/FCIT. That's amazon.com/FCIT. If you struggle with anxiety or depression, let me start by saying you are not alone. Hers can help you find the support that you need. Through Hers, you can get access to real medical providers 100% online. The process is simple. No insurance, no doctor's appointments, no pharmacies, just mental health treatment. To get started, go to forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Lemonada.
Okay, actually, can you just pretend that you're listening to a fully complete theme song here? I got really in my head, and I tried to make it perfect, and I couldn't. So this is going to be the theme song right here. Hello and welcome back to Funny 'Cause It's True. I'm Elyse Myers. I was first introduced to today's guest, Adam Pally, when I watched The Mindy Project, which is a show that I am obsessed with. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, you should definitely check it out. So when I had the opportunity to talk to Adam today, I was like 1000%, absolutely, yes. And as I left for the interview, my husband Jonas ended up like yelling across the living room, like, "Tell Adam I said hi." He never really does that. And so I thought it was really sweet. We could connect about our excitement today. So Adam Pally is a comedian. He's an actor and most recently a guitarist, which is so cool. And there's going to be more on that today. And you can catch him in Who Invited Charlie, 101 Places to Party Before You Die, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So two things that are funny because they're true. Number one, I am far too literal for my own good, and it takes me a while to warm up to banter, like back and forth, just like a joke, and then I tell a joke, and then you tell a joke. So I end up just believing everything Adam says, and I'm too gullible for this job. So I do end up getting there, though. And number two, there is a story that Adam tells about SNL and being backstage, and you just have to hear it. It's so good. Okay, with that, let's get into it. Adam, hi. How are you doing? Where are you? I love the guitars behind you.
Yeah, so I noticed that you have a guitar behind you.
Just one, acoustic.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure that I have alpha status for anybody that could also, I just want to make sure that they know that I have 4 guitars.
Superior.
Right. Yes.
Do you actually play them, or are they like, I want to look cool, so here's my guitars?
It's actually wallpaper. These are just wallpaper.
Okay, yeah. Got it. It's a green screen Zoom background.
Yeah. No, I play them. I actually have a one-man show that I've been working on. I'm doing tomorrow night in Brooklyn, and
oh, so cool.
It's a lot of music and stuff, and so it's like I've been playing since I was a kid. I'm not very good, but
are you doing like I was imagining it being like music within comedy. Is it not that?
It is that. It is that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. It's like a music and comedy show.
I wish I could go see it. That's amazing. Maybe it can be like a Netflix special or something. Would that scare the shit out of you, or would that excite you?
No, that'd be cool. I mean, it all sounds fun. No one watches. There's really very little pressure. No one watches anything. No one it's an interesting time. Man, I really need that kind of mindset. I like want to puke every time I do anything. I'm just like, this is gonna be so scary. That's good though. I also heard this thing that the more scared you are, the longer you live. I will not lie to you. I do not believe this piece of information. I trust Adam. I think he's a super smart guy. And I think someone gave him some information that was incorrect and he ran with it. And that's where we're at. That if you do something that you have never done before or are afraid to do like once a day, you will live longer. So you're probably
I feel like it would be the opposite. I feel like I'm going to give myself a heart attack. No?
No, it actually like it keeps your endorphins going, keeps your mind going.
Oh my God. I think I'm going to live forever, Adam.
Well,
I don't mean to brag, but I think I might become immortal at some point.
Judging by that standing desk, you're definitely on your way.
The one thing that everyone comments on when I make a video is like calves. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Because you're walking so much.
I'm walking all the time, yeah. But yeah, it's very helpful to have if you ever do something that doesn't require you to be like very fine, motor skills and like drawing or anything. It's a great alternative. So
I wonder if I could get a walking mark for acting. Where I'm just
yeah, just like up, like your chest up. They can't tell you're walking. It's a great skill. Yeah.
I heard Trevor Noah was walking the whole time he hosted the Daily Show.
Really?
No.
Oh, see,
Elyse.
I know. I'm sorry. And there it is. So anyway, how did you get into acting and comedy?
I started going to see shows at this place called the Upright Citizens Brigade on 21st Street at the time. And I always was like, I wanted to be on SNL. I wanted to be on The Daily Show. I wanted to, be Adam Sandler. But in my mind, I was like, it'll all happen if I just keep creatively making stuff. Like, even now, I'm 41, like, playing guitar in my little office, like, getting ready to do a one-man show. It's like, you just got to keep making stuff.
That's like the number one piece of advice, like, I give anybody, and I'm still young, but, like, I think that I just have this idea that I'm not going to wait until anyone gives me the opportunity to do something. Like, if I think that the Vanity Fair lie detector interviews are funny, I made my own. Like, not being afraid to like self-start. I think that is a huge thing in comedy and improv and just people that make it happen, I guess.
I think you have to, because I think you're constantly self-starting in this industry. So I have to self-generate the idea or the script, or, find someone that inspires me, or find something or whatever. And like, that's all, it all feels like the same. And maybe this is a lack of growth, but it all feels like the same 19-year-old who was like putting makeup on yourself. You're now sitting in a makeup trailer and they're putting like millions of dollars of makeup, like werewolf shit on you. You're like, that's awesome. Or it could be small, like you're playing guitar and you're like, I'm going to play guitar on stage tomorrow night. So I think you just keep kind of doing stuff.
How do you keep that 19-year-old energy? How do you stay in that place of like, this is the same?
Honestly, for me, it's desperation. Like, especially going through the pandemic where you really are left, you can't pitch. There's nothing to be bought.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when I went back to what do I like to do and what do I think is funny and how do I make it with the tools that I have around me, and maybe that'll lead to something else, and maybe that'll lead to something else, and you just keep spinning plates.
Like, for me, I'm just like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. That's so much pressure. Like, do you feel the pressure to take jobs or projects? Like, do you feel like stressed all the time?
No, I don't feel stressed all the time, but I'm fortunate to have had a long, I was lucky to have had a couple years before I had a family. So I was able to like pragmatically build. But I've had ups and downs since. Yeah. And, I think sometimes it's very stressful because you're like, I need a job. I want a job. Why don't I have a job? And then sometimes it's just, like you said, like you're lucky enough to be working and you don't have to worry about it. My favorite part of the job is between the lens. Like, I like getting picked up early and getting to work and like talking through a scene. I'll stay there forever. I want to die on set. Like, I love it. But as an actor, you don't get to do it that much. And that sucks.
I know. That's one of my favorite things, is getting to be around other people that are doing a job that's different to yours, all hitting that goal of like making this thing happen. I grew up watching behind the scenes footage of every movie and show I could find, every blooper. Like, my favorite part about finding a new show is then getting to watch the behind the scenes, like them filming on set and the editing room and like blooper. It's literally my favorite thing about anything I consume. So now being in a position where I actually get to see things happen like that because I'm a part of them, I just feel like I'm that kid again where I'm like, oh my God, like I want the autograph of everybody around me, like the camera guy. Like, it's just so cool. Do you like create projects so that you can work with your friends intentionally, or do you just want to work with everybody you possibly can?
My whole career is just getting an excuse to work with friends.
Oh, really?
Yes. I work with the same people a lot, probably to the detriment of my career. I don't know. It's like I find these people in my life that make me laugh and that I love genuinely. And I feel like working together is one of the best ways to share time.
Yeah.
There's so many people to collaborate with. And if you find good ones, you just keep doing it, you know?
I saw a video. It was of you hosting the Late Late show with Ben Schwartz. And first of all, the interview of you on the streets, was just gold in itself. Was that completely improv? That whole thing?
Yes.
Or was that like set?
No,
that was all improv.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys, the energy that you guys have with each other and the way you play off of each other is so incredible. Like, have you guys worked on a lot of stuff together?
Yeah. Ben and I started together. I think Ben was 21 and I was 19.
Wow.
We found each other at this theater and we started writing sketches together with a third friend of ours named Gil Ozeri, who has gone on to be, you know, immensely successful. And the three of us would just spend every hour together writing and improvising. And we were known as, our name was Hot Sauce. We still reach out to each other to do each other's projects. You know, and I think that that's, again, like one of the lucky things that I was able to come up in a community of such like-minded people.
Man, the idea of working with friends and having people in the space that you're just like close to, that are good at their job, that make you better at your job, sounds so cool. Do you feel like they make you more creative?
Yeah. Anytime someone asks me, like, how do you get involved? I think Polar says, like, you got to find your tribe. And then you got to invest in those people with your time.
Yeah.
And people will bring it out of you. And I was lucky enough to find a tribe that like vibrated at a very high frequency.
And you just felt like that kind of, you guys fed each other creatively and comedically?
I think we still do.
Wow.
You know, like I look at a thing like History of the World. I got there and it was Nick and Ike and all my friends.
Okay, so really quick, Adam is talking about the show History of the World Part 2, which is a sequel to History of the World Part 1 from Mel Brooks. Part 2 has like a packed cast of comedians, many of which come from UCB. Nick Kroll, Jason Mantzoukas, Lauren Lapkus, the list goes on.
And you looked at every role was another person that you're like, yes, yes, yes. Like, and you realize that the count goes into the hundreds, to the 200s, to the 300s of like entertainers that you feel like, oh, I speak the same language as you.
Okay, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, Adam talks about some of his most recent projects. So I had no idea about this. Apparently, Amazon Music lets you listen to podcasts totally ad-free if you're a Prime member. They offer listeners the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts, including Funny 'Cause It's True. And you may or may not know this, but earlier this year, Amazon Music decided to feature my show on a billboard in Times Square. That was so surreal, you guys. I actually flew out with my family to see it, and I'm so glad that I did. It meant so much to see myself up there. We started just as this small idea to like share some of my most embarrassing moments to ending up displaying in the middle of one of the busiest cities in America. Thanks to Amazon Music for showcasing it and helping more people find our show. Amazon Music was proud to feature Funny 'Cause It's True, and so of course I am now happy to feature Amazon Music. There are so many good podcasts on their platform, plus a mind-boggling amount of songs, and Amazon Music wants to help you discover all of it. To listen, download the Amazon Music app or visit amazon.com/FCIT. Avoid the ads and listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free with the Amazon Music app or by visiting amazon.com/FCIT. That's amazon.com/FCIT. Every plate is just next level creative with some of these recipes. I mean, caramelized onion burgers with Dijon aioli and potato wedges, sweet and spicy ponzu pork meatballs with roasted broccoli and buttery rice. These meals are so indulgent and delicious that you'd never believe that Every Plate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping. Every Plate can help you get more bang for your buck with 25 tasty and affordable recipes to choose from each week. Plus, you also have your choice of 22 sides, snacks, desserts, and more. Better yet, Every Plate offsets 100% of their carbon footprint to your door, and their meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint on average than supermarket meals of the same portion. What surprised me the most about Every Plate is how quickly the meals come together. Not only am I saving a ton of time by not waiting in line at the grocery store, but I'm usually done preparing dinner and ready to eat in under 30 minutes. Plus, I always have leftovers, which are the best part of cooking, let's be honest. Get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code Elyse149. That's everyplate.com/podcast and code Elyse149. So you did a project, 101 Places to Party Before You Die, and that was with John Garbus, right?
Yeah.
How did that start? And also, how much of you guys were you in those characters? Like, did you play characters or was that just fully you guys?
It's a little bit heightened of us, but for the most part, it's just us. We got put on our first improv team together when we were like 21. And subsequently, as we kind of rose, we started touring a lot together. And as we toured a lot, we would just kind of like do bits together all the time. And then subsequently also like get fucked up. So as we got older, we were like, this would be a great TV show. And they were like, yes, it should be. And then it was.
Did you find pressure to be funny as these things were happening to you? Or was that improv background just there and you guys were funny together?
Yeah, I think, again, being with John, he's my best friend. And then on top of that, he's one of the funniest people in the world. I don't think he would say that I'm one of the funniest people in the world, but I think he would say I'm his best friend. And I think that in that you invest in those people and they bring it out of you. Like one of the things you're taught is that your best scene will be the one where you've made your scene partner look the best. And so I think I always go back to that. It's just like, just make the person you're with feel good, look good, be good. And then you in turn will be better and you won't have thought about it.
How did you guys plan bits together? Was it on the spot as well?
Most of it wasn't planned. I mean, most of it, like we knew what locations we were going to. And then as we started interacting with people, we would just kind of lean on our training and go from there.
I think that that's so cool, the idea that your goal in improv or your goal in scenes like that is to make the other person look good. Because if both people have, or if everybody involved has that mentality, everybody ends up looking great, at the end of it.
Exactly.
You just did Who Invited Charlie, right? That was the reason most recent. Did you have a lot of creative input into that role that you had?
Yeah, I mean, the director was very collaborative. Javi Manrique let Reed and I and Jordana kind of like talk through stuff. But the script, Nick Scott wrote it. It was a great script.
Something I loved about Who Invited Charlie was you described it as like a family movie. And it's like a movie about a very serious thing, but it's been made into something that's like light and funny. And I was curious what that felt like filming and what it felt like watching back, and the creation of that movie. Like, how did you guys decide to do that? Especially because it feels like such a time capsule of something that happened. Sometimes people would steer clear like from something that feels so time stamped.
Like when the pandemic first happened, it was like natural for people to be like, I don't want to watch anything that reminds me of the horror of this. And I get that. But like in that horror, there's always comedy. There's always humor to everything. And so I feel like it's a timing thing. Enough time had gone by that we could look at it humorously.
I think humorously, but also I don't know.
Humorful.
Okay.
Does that sound?
It's all, yeah, I think it's all right. We're going to say humorful. Welcome to Funny 'Cause It's True, a show where we try and pronounce words, and sometimes it's hard.
But, I think it's timing, and it's also like, this movie is not about COVID. It's not about like scientists in a lab or like, it's about that time.
All right, time for one more break. When we come back, Adam and I talk about how being a parent keeps you grounded. When you're working on reducing your anxiety or depression, it can be so overwhelming just trying to figure out where to begin. My advice? Don't tackle it alone. There are people who can help you take a step back and assess your options, then find the best one for you. Hers offers access to mental health care that can support you in your day-to-day, including dealing with anxiety and depression. At forhers.com, you can get access to real medical providers who can prescribe trusted mental health medication if it's right for you. The process is 100% online, including free unlimited check-ins, provider messaging, and support along the way. Plus, to make things even simpler, you can get your first month of treatment for just $25 if prescribed. To get started, go to forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Hers has helped empower so many people to find the best treatment for themselves, putting it back in your hands. Get started today at forhers.com/Elyse. That's forhers.com/ELYSE. Offer only available if prescribed. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Do you take a million photos and only let them sit in your phone for ages? Well, what if you could put all of your photos, from random camera roll pictures to high-res wedding albums, onto one gorgeous frame? You can now with a digital frame from Aura. Named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, The Strategist, and featured in hundreds of gift guides, Aura frames are guaranteed to make mom or grandma smile. An Aura frame brings all your photos and videos together in one stunning high-resolution display where mom can really enjoy them, aka not a group text or on social media. Aura lets you preload any frame with meaningful memories and a special message that will appear as soon as it's set up. Could not be easier. Plus, you can invite the whole family to add to the frame, letting people contribute their memories from wherever they are. Oh, and did I mention there's free unlimited storage? Right now, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. Listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com. Use code Elyse to get up to $30 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver frames. This deal ends on May 14th, so don't wait. Terms and conditions apply. Do you like watching your projects with your family when you do them? Does it make you proud to show your kids?
It makes me proud to show my kids my work because so often, because my work is weird, my kids are like, what are you doing today?
Yeah.
Before I drop them off at school. And, so it's sometimes it is nice to be like, this is what I've been doing, because they just see me drop them off and pick them up. And they're like, did you do anything today? It's I think they kind of think I'm a bum or something. So it's it is nice to be this is what I did.
Yeah.
And certain projects, like my youngest son, Drake, is obsessed with the Sonic franchise. And it's fun. I'm a little bit of a celebrity at the 5-year-old party circuit. And that's fun and nice. But it's not as big a deal to them.
Yeah. They're just used to it.
I'm their dad.
Yeah.
Who said it? I was watching someone. Oh, Bruce Springsteen. And they were asking about his kids. And he's like, yeah, they find their own heroes. You're just dad. And I feel that's really true. They like it and stuff, but they probably don't like it as much as other people. And that's good.
Yeah. I was talking to someone else about this because I'm a mom. I have one son who's 2, and I'm pregnant with our second right now. Actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's wild because the back and forth, I think for me is a very big whiplash of experiencing very, very high highs in front of a lot of people, and a lot of people knowing your name, or a lot going into a space where you are very celebrated, whether rightfully so or just because you exist, and you're I don't deserve this. But then going home, and I'm literally still changing shitty diapers.
Yeah.
The back and forth between that is just so wild. And I always say I'm really grateful that all of this new career for me happened when I became a mom, because it's there will never be a point for me where I'm not immediately humbled the moment I get home,
yeah.
I'm lucky. And also it's tiring, to balance it. And I'm wondering how you do maintain the balance of your career versus your family, and if that's an intentional decision or if it kind of just ends up happening.
It is humbling and nice to go from these extremely high highs to the everyday of changing shit, or, what I mean? I do like that. What I'm working on is both. I don't know why I feel I need to do more. Get more adoration. I don't know what that is.
I feel that's a big reason why we do a lot of the things we do, even if we don't admit it to ourselves.
For sure. I mean, I think that's probably one of the top reasons, sex, and then a childhood fulfillment from a love that we didn't get somewhere, or attention we didn't get somewhere. I am working on feeling like I do deserve those high highs, that my work is extraordinary, that I've worked really, really hard to develop a skill that only I can do, and that it is worthwhile to put that out there, not just to fill the hole in myself, but like, because that's what you do as an artist. You make work, you put it out. So like, I'm working on being like, it's okay to do that, and at the same time, be fulfilled by the idea that people depend on you. And so they're two conflicting things in a lot of ways. I'm trying to be in the moment in both and like enjoy them both separately and not conflate them.
Yeah.
And I think that may be the key to happiness. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible not to conflate things. It's really hard to be in one place and consistently be worried that you're not in the other.
Oh my gosh. I struggle with that so much. Every single decision I make, I feel like I'm saying no to something else. And sometimes I'm like, how many times have I said no to traveling versus like how many times have I said no to like being at this family thing that I should be at? Like that to me, the balance is so hard.
That's always gonna be there. The hard thing is to like live your life without that guilt.
Yeah.
Because part of you gets attached to that guilt and you feel like that guilt is what makes you a good person, but it's not.
Ooh, that's a good word.
The guilt is actually, it's like a justification to do the thing you want to do, which I think makes you not fully in either place.
Oh, totally. I definitely agree with you. The guilt thing, though, that's very fascinating because it's true. You're like, well, if I'm not home, at least I'm guilty about not being home, so that makes me a good mom. And it's like, no,
it doesn't.
You'd be home if you wanted to be home.
It just makes you not fully present at your job. Yeah. And it's hard, especially with a marriage. It's hard in a marriage because I think a lot of times something that we work on is like we both work, and a lot of times in a marriage you become so codependent that it's not even about like help me find something in the house or whatever. It's about just codependency. And even that can take away, I think, from like what you're doing. And it takes a strong person to be like, that's okay. They're focused on something else.
And then your wife is an actor too, or no?
No.
Okay.
No, she's in business.
I think that would be hard. Or I don't know if it'd be hard if you guys are both doing the same thing.
Sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's not. I have friends that have great marriages where both are in the industry. And then I have friends who couldn't possibly be with another entertainer. It's just like too much.
Competing.
Yeah. Probably I'm one of them. So
really?
I don't know. I've like never dated anyone in the industry really. Maybe I could in my older age, but I feel like
in my geriatric age.
In my geriatric age, but I feel like as a young man, I needed my own space.
Does your wife like to come with you to events and stuff? Like, is she super used to that by now, or do they intimidate her since she doesn't like specifically work in the entertainment industry?
Before the pandemic, I used to go all the time to SNL because a lot of my friends were on the cast. And one time we were visiting a couple of my friends, and it was like a big show. And we were in, I think, Bill Hader's dressing room, and we were hanging out, and my wife was there, and we got up to walk out, and in walked Lauren and Paul McCartney. So we were saying hi. Paul leaned over to me, and I don't think he didn't recognize me, but he looked at my wife, who is this little cute blonde chick, and he said, and who's this? To me. And my wife steps in front of me, and she swears like she blacked out. But she turned to Paul McCartney, and she went, namaste.
No.
And like it was like record scratch. Like everyone was like, what?
Why?
Like everyone.
Why?
She swears it was like she doesn't know. She's like thought about yoga or something. I don't know. It was like, Paul was like, and I was like, it's so weird that you did that. And Paul's response, Paul was like, okay, He like turned and walked away. Like couldn't believe she had done that. And she was just like, I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. Hard
relate. Like the hardest relate right here. I I lock up when I'm just talking to like normal people. Like Jonas looks at me and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say to you right now. I don't know. I don't have any words. I don't know. But then when you're in front of like famous people, that some famous people feel like regal. Like it's not starstruck. It's like you feel like you are in the presence of like royal blood. It's really hard to explain, but when Adam said that his wife said namaste, and I'm just imagining like putting her hands together and doing like a little bow, right? I imagined that as like her verbal curtsy. Like, I don't know what else to do, and I'm not going to just curtsy, so I'm going to do a verbal curtsy and say namaste. It felt right. I get it. I totally get what she was doing there.
Then we like went to the after party. And it was like, she didn't want to go too close to Paul because she was like the namaste girl. It was like super embarrassing.
Oh my God. That is like so painful.
Yeah, it was a tough moment. And Fred was next to me. Armiston was next to me. And I believe he whispered to me, he went like, very unfortunate.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. That's so painful. Well, with that masterpiece of a story, I think that that's all the time that we have. But Adam, thank you so much. Seriously, I know that you've probably got a lot going on, but it was really cool to meet you and get to hear about your life a little bit. So I'm just super grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. I was really, really happy to do this.
Thank you so much for listening to my interview with Adam Pally. Make sure to go check out his new movie, Who Invited Charlie? As always, if you like our show, give us a rating and a review. It helps other people find us. All right, thank you so much. See you next week. Bye. There's more Funny 'Cause It's True with Lemonada Premium. You'll get access to all of Lemonada's premium content, including My 5 Questions with Tig Notaro, which came out last Friday. Subscribe now in Apple Podcasts. Funny 'Cause It's True is a Lemonada Media and Powder Keg production. The show is produced by Claire Jones, Zoe Dennis, and Linnea Tony. Our associate producer is Tiffany Bowie. Rachel Neal is our senior director of new content, and our VP of weekly production is Steve Nelson. Executive producers are Stephanie Whittles-Wax, Jessica Cordova-Kramer, Paul Feig, Laura Fisher, Kesla Childers, and me, Elyse Myers. This show is mixed by Johnny Vince Evans, additional help from Noah Smith and Ivan Krayev. Our theme song music was written by me and scored by Xander Singh. Follow Funny 'Cause It's True wherever you get your podcasts, or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. Boo-doo-doo-doo-boom-doo.
Hi, my name is Kelsey McKinney, and I'm the host of Normal Gossip, a show that is now back for its 4th season with Radiotopia. Normal Gossip is a show about the petty, the ridiculous, and the strange stories that surround us in the world, and the way that we share those stories with each other. In the top half of the show, Normal Gossip investigates how gossip functions in the world and how we use it for good, for evil, and for neutral. The stories are sent in by listeners, anonymized, and retold to a guest who is asked to weigh in on the actions, beliefs, and decisions made by the people in the stories. We have a great time on this show, and if you love mess, please come join us.
If you love Lemonada content, a quick, easy, and free way to help us keep our shows running is to fill out our anonymous listener survey. By just answering a few questions, you can help us find new brands to connect with and also share feedback about show content you'd like to see across the network. And even better, once you've completed the survey, you can enter for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. The survey is short and sweet and will help us play ads you don't want to skip and also keep bringing you content you love. Just go to lemonadamedia.com/survey. Survey. Survey. Survey.